A simple woman named Lauren was mocked, drenched, struck with golf balls, and brutally kicked out of Pinewood Golf Club in Naples, Florida. Her quiet beauty shredded by a vicious crowd, until her billionaire husband, Daniel Pierce, landed his jet on the green to burn their world down. The fairways gleamed with privilege, but Greg, a smug golfer, slammed a ball into her head, laughing as Tara doused her with water, and Chad spat in her face, the elite chanting her out, until a jet's roar promised a reckoning they'd never see coming. The club was a sprawling paradise of manicured grass and palm trees, where the air smelled of money and the clink of golf clubs echoed like a rich man's symphony. Lauren stepped onto the grounds in a faded green polo and khaki shorts, her blonde hair tied back in a messy bun. She was stunning, clear blue eyes, a natural grace, but no one cared. To the staff and guests, she was a plain Jane intruder, too modest for their elite playground. They had no clue she was hiding a secret that'd make them choke on their martinis. Lauren didn't come to flaunt anything. She'd tagged along with her old college buddy, Sarah, who'd begged her to try a day at Pinewood. Sarah's treat. Lauren could have bought the whole damn course if she wanted. She was married to a titan, her own bank account fat from years of quiet investments, but she liked keeping it low-key. No Prada bags, no Rolex, just a beat-up pair of sneakers and a smile. She figured she'd swing a club, sip a soda, and enjoy the sun. But the second she walked past the clubhouse, the whispers started, and the claws came out. The pro shop clerk, a wiry guy named Chad with a fake tan and a sneer, clocked her first. "Hey, sweetheart, you lost?" he called, loud enough to turn heads. "This ain't the public park. Members only." Lauren kept her cool, voice steady. "I'm with Sarah Brooks. She's got a guest pass." Chad snorted, eyeing her shorts. "Yeah, right. What's a chick like you doing here? Looking to snag a sugar daddy?" A few golfers nearby chuckled, their polo shirts crisp and their grins smug. Lauren's cheeks flushed, but she didn't snap. "Just here to play?" she said, soft but firm. Chad didn't just mock her. He stepped out from behind the counter, snatched her golf bag from her shoulder, and dumped its contents onto the clubhouse floor. Clubs, a water bottle, her wallet, scattering them like trash. "Let's see what the gold digger's hiding," he sneered, kicking her wallet under a table as Tara clapped. "Bet it's all fake, just like her." Greg roared with laughter. "Look at that junk! Fits her perfectly!" Lauren bent to gather her things, her hands shaking. But she didn't snap, just quietly picked up her life as the crowd jeered, their cruelty a knife twisting deeper. It didn't stop there. A waitress named Tara, all bleach blonde hair and tight skirt, sashayed over with a tray of drinks, smirking. "Oh, honey, we don't serve tap water. You gotta afford the good stuff." She flicked her eyes over Lauren's outfit, laughing. "What'd you do? Raid a thrift store? This place is for class, not charity cases." The golfers laughed harder. One guy, Greg, a beefy real estate hotshot with a loud voice, piling on. "She's probably here to flirt her way into a free round. Bet she can't even swing a club." Lauren clutched her borrowed golf bag, staying calm. "I'll pay my way," she said quietly. The insults got nastier. Tara took it up a notch, grabbing a pitcher of ice water from her tray and pouring it over Lauren's head, the cold shock soaking her polo and dripping down her face. "Cool off, sweetie. You're way out of your league," she taunted, smirking as the liquid plastered Lauren's hair to her neck. Greg hooted, "Now she's wet trash. Perfect upgrade." Tom joined in, snapping a photo with his phone. "Gotta post this. Beggar gets a bath." The crowd erupted, some clapping like it was a damn circus, and Lauren stood there, drenched and shivering, her silence a stark contrast to their venom. Chad leaned over the counter, his smirk turning mean. "Listen, gold digger, save the act. You're not fooling anyone in that getup. Go troll somewhere else." Tara joined in, loud and sharp. Yeah, we've seen your type. Hunting rich guys because you've got nothing going on. Get a real job. Greg roared, slapping his knee. Bet she's broke as hell. Look at those shoes. What's next? Begging for tips? The crowd fed off it, their laughter a wall of scorn. Lauren shut her eyes for a second, willing herself to stay composed. She didn't need their approval, didn't want their fight. Then it turned ugly. Greg didn't wait for her to swing. He strode up behind Lauren on the range, yanked the club from her hands, and shoved her hard into the grass, her knees slamming into the dirt. You don't belong here, slut. Stay down, he barked, tossing the club aside as Rick cheered. Yeah, keep her in the mud where she fits. Tara shrieked, Look at her crawl. Pathetic. The golfers circled, some filming, their laughs a wall of scorn. Lauren pushed herself up, grass staining her shorts, but she didn't yell, just brushed off her hands, her grace under fire, making their hate look uglier. Greg grabbed a club, swaggering onto the driving range where Lauren stood, lining up a shot. Watch this, boys, he said, winking at his buddies, a pack of loudmouths named Tom and Rick. He teed up a ball, aimed right at her, and swung hard. The golf ball rocketed across the green, smacking Lauren square on the forehead with a sickening crack. She stumbled, pain exploding in her skull, a trickle of blood running down her temple. Greg doubled over, laughing. Bullseye. Told you she's a target. After the golf ball hit, Tom didn't let up. He scooped up another ball, teed it up, and swung again, this time clipping Lauren's shoulder as she tried to stumble away, the sting doubling her pain. 2 for 2, he crowed, high-fiving Rick as Greg yelled, Keep going! She's a moving target! Blood trickled down her arm now, mixing with the sweat and dirt, and Tara screeched, Bleed somewhere else! You're ruining the view! The crowd roared, some tossing teas at her like she was a game, and Lauren clutched her shoulder, dizzy but silent, her dignity shredded in their hands. Tom hooted, Should have ducked, sweetheart. Tara clapped, shrieking, That's what you get for crashing our turf! Lauren pressed a hand to her head, dizzy, the sting blurring her vision. She didn't scream, didn't curse, just steadied herself, her grace unshaken. Chad stormed over, furious. You're done! Out! You're a damn liability, bleeding all over our grass! He grabbed her arm, dragging her toward the gate, while Greg yelled, Take your hustle somewhere else! Trash! Rick tossed a water bottle at her, splashing her legs, and the crowd cheered. Bye-bye, beggar! Tara waved mockingly. Don't come back, skank! They shoved her past the clubhouse, dumping her on the curb, her golf bag thudding beside her. As Chad dragged her toward the gate, Rick grabbed a handful of her wet hair, yanking it hard enough to make her gasp, and spat in her face, the wet glob hitting her cheek. That's for wasting our time, you filthy tramp! He snarled, while Tara tossed her tray aside and kicked Lauren's golf bag into the gutter, clubs clattering. Take your crap and crawl home! Greg bellowed. Don't ever show your face here again, you leech! The crowd chanted, Out! Out! Filming her disgrace, their phones flashing as Lauren staggered, spit and blood mingling. But she didn't break, just wiped her face and kept moving. She sat there, blood smearing her fingers, the sun beating down, their laughter still ringing in her ears. Anger burned inside her, but she wouldn't let it spill. She hated scenes, hated how they'd judged her for nothing but a polo and shorts. This wasn't just about her. It was about their smug little club, thinking they could crush anyone who didn't fit their mold. Wincing, she pulled out her phone and called Daniel. He picked up fast, his deep voice a lifeline. Lauren, you okay? What's wrong? She tried to keep it light, voice trembling. Rough day at Pinewood. Got hit, kicked out. His tone darkened. Hit? By who? I'm 10 minutes out. Stay there. Back at the club, the party rolled on, oblivious. Greg was cracking open another beer, bragging, "Nailed that shot! Should have seen her face!" Chad was wiping the counter, smirking at Tara. "Good riddance. Kept the riffraff out." Tom and Rick clinked glasses, laughing about the gold digger who couldn't hack it. They didn't hear the distant roar of jet engines, didn't see the shadow cutting across the sky. Then the ground shook. A sleek black jet swooped low, landing hard on the 18th hole, grass shredding under its wheels. The clubhouse windows rattled, drinks spilling, as Daniel Pierce stepped out, his presence a storm cloud rolling in. He was a force, tall, broad-shouldered, dark hair streaked with gray, in a tailored blazer that screamed wealth and danger. Daniel Pierce was a billionaire mogul, king of Pierce Industries, a conglomerate spanning tech, real estate, and leisure. He'd clawed his way up from a rough Chicago neighborhood, turning grit into gold, and now he owned half the luxury golf courses in the country, including Pinewood. Protective as hell, he'd do anything for Lauren, his wife of 3 years. He stormed across the green, eyes locked on her where she sat, bloodied and quiet. "Lauren," he said, kneeling beside her, voice soft but furious. "Who did this?" She touched his arm, steady despite the pain. "I'm okay, Dan. Just a golf ball. Greg, over there." She nodded toward the range. Daniel's jaw tightened, his gaze swinging to the crowd now gawking from the clubhouse. "Greg, huh? And the rest of these clowns?" He helped her up, brushing dirt off her shorts, then turned, his voice booming. "Which one of you is Greg?" The beefy guy stepped forward, beer still in hand, smirking. "That's me. What's it to you?" Daniel's laugh was ice cold. "You hit my wife with a golf ball, that's what." The air went dead. Chad's tan faded, his smirk gone. "Your wife?" Tara's tray clattered, her giggle dying. "No way! She's—" Daniel cut her off, eyes blazing. "Lauren Pierce, my wife. You treated her like garbage because she doesn't flaunt it. Big mistake." He pulled out his phone, dialing fast. "Mike, it's Dan. Pinewood Golf Club. Shut it down. Clear it out now." A crisp, "Yes, sir," crackled through, and he hung up, glaring at Greg. "You, step up. Explain," Greg stammered, bravado crumbling. "It was a joke, man. I didn't know." Daniel didn't blink. "A joke? She's bleeding. You're done." He dialed again. "Lisa, it's me. Greg Tanner. Real estate guy, right? Tank his deals. Call in his loans. Crash his firm. Today." Greg's beer slipped, shattering on the patio. "You can't." Daniel smirked, dark and lethal. "I own your world, pal. Watch me." He turned to Chad and Tara. "You two, dragging her out, calling her trash. You're fired. Pack up." Tom and Rick tried to slink away, but Daniel's voice stopped them cold. Tara and Chad tried their luck too, cornering Daniel by the clubhouse as the jet's engines roared, tears streaming down Tara's face. "Mr. Pierce, we're sorry. We didn't know she was yours. Give us our jobs back, please." Chad nodded, frantic. "I'll apologize. I'll grovel. Just don't blacklist us." Daniel's eyes were steel as he dialed Mike again. "Add this. Make sure no club, no resort, no Pierce property ever hires them. They're done for life." He hung up, glaring. "You spat on her, kicked her stuff. Enjoy the gutter." They crumpled, security shoving them out, their careers dead, their smugness a memory the audience could cheer to dust. "Don't move. You cheered it on, threw water, laughed. You're banned. Every Pierce club, every partner course, nationwide, done." Tara's jaw dropped. "But I—" Daniel waved her off. "Save it. You're out." He called again. "Mike, add Chad Willis, Tara Hayes, Tom Baxter, Rick Coleman to the blacklist. Permanent. No entry, no mercy." The staff froze, the crowd whispering as security rolled in. Big guys in black polos, radios crackling. The twist hit hard. A groundskeeper, a quiet guy named Pete, who'd watched it all, spoke up. "Sir, I saw it. Greg aimed that ball on purpose. They all ganged up. Wouldn't let her play." Daniel's eyes narrowed, fury deepening. "On purpose?" He looked at Lauren, softening. "Why didn't you tell me how bad it was?" She shrugged, wincing as she touched her forehead. "Didn't want the fuss. Thought I could take it." He shook his head, a mix of awe and rage. "You're too good for these assholes," Greg tried begging, voice shaking. "Mr. Pierce, I've got a family." As security hauled Greg away, he broke free, lunging toward Lauren near the jet, his face red with panic. "Mrs. Pierce, please, I didn't mean it. I've got kids, a mortgage," he begged, voice cracking. "Don't let him bankrupt me." Lauren looked at him, blood still crusting her temple, and shook her head, calm but cold. "You aimed at me. Twice. You don't get a pass." Daniel stepped in, towering over Greg. "You heard her. Cry all you want. Your firm's toast." Security dragged him off, his pleas fading as Daniel's call to Lisa sealed it. Greg's empire gone, his life a pile of ash by morning. Daniel's glare shut him up. "Should have thought of that before you swung. Your firm's gone. Bankrupt by sundown." Tara sobbed. "Please, I need this job." Chad chimed in. "It was a mix-up, sir." Daniel didn't flinch. "You humiliated my wife. You're finished." He nodded to security. "Get them out, now." The team moved fast. Greg, Chad, Tara, Tom, and Rick hauled off, protests fading as they were dumped past the gates. Daniel took Lauren's hand, leading her to the jet steps. "No more golf here," he said, firm but gentle. "They don't deserve you." She nodded, her beauty shining through the blood and dirt. He faced the stunned crowd, still lingering. "Pinewood's mine. Every blade of grass, every membership. You treated Lauren like nothing. You're nothing now." The jet's engines hummed, ready to lift off, as security cleared the last stragglers. By nightfall, the fallout was brutal. Greg's firm collapsed. Loans called, clients bailing, his name toxic overnight. Chad and Tara's resumes hit a wall. No club would touch them, their careers ash. Tom and Rick's memberships were voided across the network, their golf days over, their buddies ditching them fast. Pinewood shut down for renovations, a cover for Daniel's purge. New staff, new rules, no trace of the old guard. The ones who'd mocked Lauren were gone, their privilege shredded, all because they couldn't see past a faded polo. Daniel and Lauren sat in their beach house that evening, her head bandaged, his arm around her. "You didn't have to go that far," she said, half smiling. He grinned, fierce and warm. "Yeah, I did. Nobody touches you. Not a ball, not a word." She leaned into him, the Gulf waves crashing outside, her quiet strength a match for his fire. The golf course was theirs again, and the ones who'd hurt her were left with nothing but the echo of their own arrogance. If you loved this story, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.